everybody, it's AK Option Trader back at you again. Another look at some stock market charts and some market commentary. So let's jump into it. Well, last week pretty much went as expected. Maybe the extremes were greater than I anticipated, but expected an up day Monday, which was pretty much a flat day, and I expected an up day Friday, which didn't happen until the last 20 minutes of the day. I actually expected it to rally a little after lunch into the close on Friday, so there I was waiting, and pretty much just about to give up. Walked away from computer, came back, there it went. So anyway, I was able to get in on a little bit of that. Not the whole thing, because I thought, man, it's just going to peter out. But anyway, I expected Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to be down, and it was Monday and Friday to kind of be up days, relief days. So now what are we going to look for this week? Well, this week to me isn't as easy, but I will tell you what I see. So let's start with the VIX. The VIX looks to me like it's ready to drop here. Obviously, you've got a bearish engulfing candle near the top of the Bollinger Bands. Outside, it's some resistance, not strong resistance. So I could easily see this dropping back down into 31 area, 33 area, something like that. But if you look at the VXN, which is the NASDAQ VIX, you can see it's not nearly as bearish. I would say it's bearish. It's like almost bearish for Rami, but the open obviously at the close and moved up and then right back down. So it's kind of an inside day, not truly an inside day, but it looks slightly bearish, like it could come down. I wouldn't be surprised to see it actually stay inside this candle here, but it might fall right out and take it right out. I don't imagine it would bust between 26, 27 area. I think it would hold up before then. So that would be bullish for this market. And when I look through my charts, was looking at the Dow here, I looked through lots of charts this weekend, and I saw a lot of support coming into play in the form of a 200 moving average, a gap, lots of support very nearby on some major stocks. I also saw a lot of bullish engulfing candles, which makes sense after the rally at the end of the day on Friday. So everything is kind of pointed to maybe an up day Monday, Tuesday, maybe even an up week next week. You know, I don't think every day will be up, but I'm leaning towards an up week next week. Even though we took out some major resistance here on the indices, and I'll look at the Dow. Took out the 200 moving average on a great big move down on Thursday, and then we managed on Friday to rally hard off the lows. I mean, more than half of the day was a tail on really good volume on Friday. However, you know, the 200 moving average did not serve as resist or support as I thought it would. Blew right through it, but watch it for resistance to the upside. If it stalls out here around 10.3, that would make sense to me. Maybe stall out for a day or two and then take off. However, like I said, since it didn't offer support, sometimes that means it won't offer any resistance. It'll just plow right back up above it if it decides to go up here. SPX looks very similar. Very similar. It did go a little bit beneath opened beneath Thursday's low, dropped down, then rallied back up here, and you can see that clearly. A lot more room to get up to the 200 moving average, which is 1105. I would expect the same thing, maybe a little bit of a stall out at 1105 if it does rally up like I think it will. Holding at 1105 for a bit before taking off, or maybe even dropping down for a day or two before taking off from there. Okay, and if we look at the NASDAQ, looks quite a bit more bullish than the other ones. Now, I've been saying for months that when this fall comes, I thought the NASDAQ would lead it down because I thought it was the most overbought. However, it is not leading right now. It actually closed on Friday above the 200 moving average. Okay, it actually has a lot less down from the open. It did not go near as far down. Look at the tail compared to the other ones, and it did have a little bit pullback at the end of the day there, but to be expected. So this thing actually moved up. It's closed above the 200 moving average. Looks like it might want to make a move up and try to fill this gap here. So watch that. That would be what I would say would be a little bit of resistance, either 2275 area or 2300 area. Would offer some real close resistance. This one makes a lot of sense in 2300 if it does continue to move up in there. Then we'll look at the RUT, Russell, which is very similar to the NASDAQ. And I've been talking about how it had such a long way to go to get to the 200 moving average. Look how quickly it made that up. One day, a day and a half, and it made it up. Touched the 200 moving average, bounces. Well, it didn't really touch it, but right above it, bounced right back up. So you could see continued bounce up off of this. You know, a sideways day, maybe then a day up, a couple days up, or something like that. I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking, you know, I'm still leaning to the up day. Now, there's one thing that gives me pause to that, and that's the euro. Euro US dollar, which I've been watching. But if you've noticed, there's been kind of a disconnect showing its ugly head here with the euro US dollar in versus the market. They were going in inverse or pardon me, in step. So when this was dropped, the market would drop. This would rally, the market would rally. Well, it's rallied 3 days in a row. Their only rally was on Friday. We're kind of seeing this drop down here. And I think we're going to see another one. If you look at these 3 candles, this is what I'd be looking for. The only difference is this took out this whole candle. Boom, 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 all the way up. These stayed inside. So that's a normal procedure for this drop here. And it could continue. I usually like these for drops, for pullbacks. We could see an inside day, but it may not matter. It may have lost its influence on the overall market as we see it. If you look at the UUP, you can say the same thing. 3 days down in a row, okay? And even though we had an up day on Friday, we had 3 days down in a row. So those are the only ones that give me cause to pause on that. Next week we have all news all week, so it'll move some things. Let's look at some regular stocks now and see what they look like. All right, so what I want to start with is some spider sector stuff, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Most of these look similar, so I picked 2 or 3 that kind of mirrored the rest of the sectors. So this is XLB. This is materials, like building materials, stuff like that. Home Depot, stuff like that's in this one. This is XLB. I watch these things pretty much every week, pretty much every day. I'll check them out and see where we're at. You can see all the lines I got in here. So here's XLB. It's kind of had this broadening pattern that's failed right about here. It never rallied back up. So we obviously have resistance here. But if you look, we've got a clear, very nice, bullish engulfing candle. I mean a huge one that actually finished above resistance. Okay, it closed a little bit above resistance here. Okay, filled this gap to from this low down here at 30.37. Volume was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It had been rising for the week. And then Friday was the low day, which is something normal I would expect. It stayed clear above this support here. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this keep moving back up, maybe sideways. Not as big as it did here, but slowly slide up before maybe dropping down again. So that's XLB. The next we're going to do is XLF. And this is the financials, obviously. Everybody watches this. Same type of thing, though. One thing I want you to notice here is this did take out the 200 moving average. Volume has been sustained at a pretty decent level. It did take 200 moving average out, but it is a bullish engulfing candle, okay? And it did try to move back above the 200 moving average and failed. Wouldn't be surprised to see it try again. Now, the 200 here has not been acting like it did back here. Back here, it gave a lot of resistance, or a lot of support, pardon me. Here it just broke through. When it was time, it went. Okay, so it may not be as strong this time coming up through. It may be able to pop right through there, so keep an eye on the XLF. Here's one more. The XLI is industrial stuff, so that's like your Boeings and stuff like that. Caterpillar. What I want you to notice here is that we are still above the 200 moving average here, so this is a stronger sector. Okay, that's your stronger sector. Look at the volume down here. This last April, May has just been growing like crazy. We had a little peak back here in February, and we had peaks here in last November. But if you look at May back here, look at that. May of 2009, not near the volume as we got here. So volume is coming into this market here. So watch the XLI, and if you can pick out some stocks that you like in there, I think this is going to show some strength. I think this 200 moving average will serve as support here, and I think it will offer a bounce. Okay, now this isn't a bullish engulfing. It represents some of the other ones I saw, but it is a white candle coming off a black day. Here's ABC. I just like this. I've showed this several times. Just love that it's just trending up this 50 moving average. It's darn near close to the 50 moving average, moved right back up again. So it'll probably still keep grinding up. It's a slow, nice trade. If you like that style, that's great. I'm going to show Baidu, which just recently split right here. So where it split, back down, bullish engulfing candle. Okay, now the 200 moving average is kind of off kilter a little bit, but I still think this thing's going to move back up. Okay, so watch Baidu for a little move up there. I will be. Here's Amazon, AMZN. Here's another one that everybody looks at. I just like this because it held on the 200 moving average. Not quite a bullish engulfing candle. Not quite massive volume. I mean, 8 million is nothing to sneeze at. But just watch this 200 moving average. If it starts moving up off of it, then I think we're going to see a move back up. And then we're going to be watching the 137 for support. So that's it for this week. We got news every day, so keep an eye on that. Market moving news prior to the market every day. That's what I'm going to be looking at, but I am leaning towards an up week this week. This will be AK Option Trader signing off. Trade well and prosper.